In the early 1960s, there was Group 66 with Robbie Fair on vocals. Group 66 became Exit, and then that gimmick and moniker became more Californian as West Coast Consortium by 1967. By 1969, the band jockeyed for chart position alongside The Move and Amen Corner with the shortened name of Consortium. And if you're in the age bracket between 40 and 50, you must remember this.
All the love in the world I would give. All the love in the world just to love.
Consortium's only major hit, All the Love in the World, peaked at number 22 and spent 9 weeks in the UK chart. Tours and variety acts followed for years, but the hit singles dried up. Then, with changes in the lineup, in 1975, Consortium were given the opportunity to put together the album they needed to gain credibility as a rock band. However, political climate and union strike action conspired to confound the release of Rebirth, an album that would have established Consortium as major players today. 31 years later, the album's now available on CD. In a few minutes, I'll be talking to singer Robbie Leggett, guitarist and vocalist Brian Parker, and bassist Ken Brown.
You look surprised at the look in my eyes, but I've been gone such a long that I look a mess. Who gave you the right to decide? My life's wrong, your life's right. Oh, it's not easy, but I'd do it all again, and I wouldn't change a thing. Had so many lives everywhere I've been. How you feel? We're face to face, ready for the kill. When we were kids, I said I'd be the best. I said I'd never follow the rest. You played the rules, I played the game. So don't expect us to be the same. You go your way and I'll go mine. Now we've reached the end of the line. Don't look back as you walk away, 'cause now I know that you're never the same. Oh, it's not easy, but I'd do it all again, and I wouldn't change a thing. Had so many lives everywhere I've been.
Okay, you're listening to ARfm. Delighted to introduce Consortium. They're in the studio now, talking to singer Robbie Leggett, guitarist and vocalist Brian Parker, and bassist Ken Brown. Hi, guys.
Hi.
How do you feel about that? I mean, this is 31 years in the making, an album.
Well, it's like a very long loose end tied up. It's we never thought it would find the light of day, but so glad that it has. Really excited about it.
Robbie?
Yeah, well, I think it was something that more or less lay dormant, and at the time we thought it was very good, and it should have got the air in at the time. But we're pleased to say now that eventually it's getting the air which we think we deserved at the time.
Yeah, because you were like victim of circumstances at the time. It was very sort of a political sort of climate. You had the miners' strike and
Oh, that's right.
the 3-day week, and I think there was a shortage of vinyl at the time, wasn't there? Possibly. I'll talk about that a little bit later on. What I want to do is actually, to get everybody up to speed. Let's go back quite a way, Robbie, for the benefit of people that probably have been around for about 30 years rather than us for about 40 or 50. Now, you featured in all the incarnations of Consortium since Group 66?
Yes, of course, yeah. It started in as Group 66, then we changed to Exit. We signed a record contract in the Marmaid Tavern in East London, in the actual pub, there and then.
That's in Hackney, isn't it? Ballspond Road?
Ballspond Road, yeah. Then we changed the name to Exit. Carried on, we got so many singles, we released so many singles, and I could never understand why they really didn't take off, except for All the Love in the World, because they had a big backing, a big company behind us, and Cyril Stapleton, of course, at the time was the head of A&R, and had a lot of clout, and it really just didn't happen, and then, of course, the band split up, certain members left, and Brian and Ken joined, and Mick and drummer John, he joined, and formed Consortium rather than West Coast Consortium.
Yeah. Tell me about Tony McCauley.
He was the one that came down to the pub, and he had the contract in front. He stood there watched us play a couple of numbers, put the contract on the table and signed there and then, And at the time he had the Foundations and a couple of other bands, and he gave us a song called Some Other Someday to record. That was our first record. And he also had the Foundations with Baby Now That I Found You. Now, of course, if he'd have given us that, things may have turned out different, That went straight to number one, and Some Other Someday just... we were playing on Radio London, the pirate ships and things like that. That's where they were pushing, and of course nothing happened. Then he took me to one side and wrote Indigo Spring for me to push out as Robbie, and which had quite some good reviews in the press. I can remember the actual, I think it was one of the dailies, it actually said, this is one of the best things, and this is going to go.
And at that time you were known as Robbie Fair at that time?
Yeah, Robbie Fair, yeah, that's right. Yeah. I don't know where that comes from, somebody.
You mentioned Cyril Stapleton.
Yeah.
Now, he pretty much took you under his wing.
He
was the head of Pi, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was the top man there, yeah. And we were quite friendly with him. I mean, we became friends, the whole band with Cyril Stapleton. And he took us off to Holland, where we were we were actually bigger in Holland, I think, than we were in the UK. And he took us off there, and he entered us into a competition, almost like the Eurovision competition.